I don't know the story. I wasn't born. But apparently my father was in the Marines and he came back on a leave or something of that sort. I'm not sure what it was. And well, you have to understand that the Allen girls were very skittish. They didn't like a lot of company and stuff. Yeah, because they came from a family where their father was a deacon in the church. So that meant that after services, he would usually bring a bunch of visiting preachers home for dinner, and Grandma would have this big dinner, and they'd all come there to eat. My mother said that she kind of resented the fact that they ate so much because they had a large family. They had 4 kids at home, maybe 5, and because I don't know if Aunt Mina was married yet. And these people would eat like there was no tomorrow. And she said it would seem like that they would notice that there were these kids that were going to have to be fed, and they and they just kept eating. And Grandma would keep encouraging, "Oh, you haven't eaten anything. I'll have some more. Oh, you haven't eaten anything." And so they would just Grandma Allen, Paralee Elizabeth Allen. Anyway, so that's kind of why they would kind of run and hide, I guess. They were just why they were skittish, because there were always these strangers in the house. Because, preachers traveled back then. They would go from one town to another. Why, I don't know, but that's how it was.
Maybe there's no pastor in the church? Or?
I don't know if they had a permanent pastor like now, or if there was just an idea that preachers traveled and had an itinerant practice where they would preach different places. And some of them had reputations, kind of like rock stars today, like, oh, Reverend Clark's going to preach. Everybody wants to hear Reverend Clark. So, people would come from miles around to hear him wherever he was. Anyway, he came, and as he was walking toward her, she went running into the cornfield. So, that's the story. She was barefoot also.
Was he wearing his uniform?
Yes, he was. Of course he was. Those Marines could not go anywhere in those uniforms. Well, what happened with that is, as you know, it was during World War II. So there were jobs, and there were not men to hold a lot of them, so women could easily find employment. So they found a job in Washington. I forgot what they were doing, though. And my father came back while they were there. And Grandma wanted my mother to get married. So they wrote a letter saying, "Mother's very sick, come home now, immediately." So Aunt Marie didn't want to go. She said, "We just started these jobs. She'll be okay. There's no need for us to leave." But my mother kept saying, "Oh, Marie, we have to go. They said she's sick." I think they sent more than one letter, actually. At any rate, they left, and when they got on the train and went home and found out the only reason she wanted them there was so my mother would marry my father before he shipped out overseas.
Well, it sounds like the parents contributed to the baby boom.
You mean the grandparents?
The grandparents.
I guess they did contribute to it, because the men were all being sent off to war. So if you wanted your daughters to get married, what could you do but try to get them married to a soldier? Yeah. At least they'd have widow's benefits or something. Plus, the men who didn't go overseas were not exactly prime pickings. It was very sad. A lot of them didn't want to even be seen in public.
Really?
Yeah, they didn't want to go to stores or go out anywhere because they thought they should be in uniform. If they were 4F, they couldn't be in uniform.
Right.
So they couldn't go. But it must have been hard for them. Really hard. That's probably the last war we've ever had in this country where people felt that way about it. Patriotic and all wanting to serve. Vietnam was not one of those.
No, Vietnam was not. But I think definitely the post 9/11 war, everybody was on board with that after we'd been attacked.
It wasn't like World War II, though. But you see, the thing about World War II is there was war all over the world.
Yeah.
It wasn't just one country. It was just like evil just emanated out and started taking over places and had to be put back in its place.
All right, cool. Thank you.